demanding, which meant I was of little to no help to her in the transition. Mary Ellen never complained, and she was always supportive in every way to our kids and to me. She consistently has had to put herself in situations outside of her comfort zone, either for me or for our kids, and has always done unbelievably well. She constantly puts family first, even when it involves taking on experiences that she fears.
I've always thought of my mom as being brave and courageous. From going to Japan as an early college grad to teach by herself, to teach school, and happen to meet my dad, to teaching school. And I think it takes a brave and courageous person to teach elementary school kids. I don't think I could do it. And then her bravery and courageousness in dealing with my dad's health challenges throughout his life, and just being able to stand by his side through all of that. Her bravery, her courageousness has set an example for me and for my kids, and I'll be forever grateful for that.
When I think of Alicia, and I think about bravery or courage, several things come to mind. First of all, she is going to be the kind of person, and this is part of why I married her, who will stay at a position and listen to what your point of view is. And her typical disposition is to help other people, even if it takes a stronger opinion or she's challenged by that. So I look at that as a form of courage, that she has these basic values that are so right on and that are concerned about other people. You may not know this, but Alicia has recently committed to being an advocate at CASA. So she'll be going into a family situation that's challenging and helping the child out. It takes courage to be in a role like that because there are real risks and you're walking into a family situation that could be volatile. I really admire her for having considered and taken that position. And, I guess I could also say, just like in my family, there were times in which I was challenged by my children, not exceptionally, but we all are. And Alicia has consistently been steadfast in showing her kids the right thing and the right examples, even if they're not popular, even if things were going to be more difficult. So she has had the courage to be a really strong advocate that way. And by the way, I'm shooting this video from our backyard, and we were married in very late August, about a year ago, from this exact spot. So I wish your conference great success. Alicia, I love you.
When darkness comes. When I think about Cindy and courage, my first video take was over 3 minutes long and likely could have gone over 5. Of course, my phone could not send that long of a video for some reason, so here's my written note. Throughout our marriage, Cindy has demonstrated courage many, many times. Whether it was supporting one of my career decisions or her own personal decision to leave companies on several occasions. One time, due to an ethical issue where the company was not delivering on their customer promise, and she felt she could no longer represent them and their services. And another time just recently where she left Centura to be able to concentrate on taking care of herself and being able to support Austin during his recovery. Be still and know. Once she supported my decision to move our family to Indiana for a great job opportunity. The problem was, it was Northwest Indiana, and we never quite adjusted. It was Cindy's courageous spirit that led us all back to Colorado and back to St. Luke's. She moved the kids, found a house, and set up a home and told me to find a job in Colorado. Cindy is actually an excellent project manager too. Many of you are aware of our middle son's struggle with drugs and alcohol. There have been multiple occasions when Cindy and I have had to ask Austin to find another place to live when he was active in his addiction. Through Cindy's courage, I found strength as well. Austin literally was homeless and on the streets of Denver during the winter 1 year not too long ago. We knew, and Cindy knew, that we had to create a safe environment at home for our youngest son, Chris, and for ourselves. I remember one Thanksgiving where Austin was not home, and we were able to contact him by cell phone, and Cindy was able to deliver him a warm Thanksgiving dinner on a cold night on the streets of Denver. It took a lot of courage not to bring Austin home that night. These are just a few examples. 2017 marks our 30th wedding anniversary in August, and I could not be more blessed by the courageous woman that I married.
My mom has this gentle strength that I admire so much and I learn from every day. And I think it really comes from wanting to help people, which is something that brings her a lot of joy and something that I think she's really good at. When she lived in Breckenridge, she helped to form a support group for the family members and the friends of people who had been seriously injured or died on the ski slope. And she would go to the medical center and she would sit with them, and she would sit with them in the car on the way back to Denver and sit with them in the hospital and just listen and talk to them and support them in any way that she could find. She was also part of a jail ministries group where she would go into the jails and spend time with inmates and support them and make them feel valued and cared about. And most recently, she has been volunteering her time working with kids who have lost a parent. And all of these conversations are incredibly tough, and there are things that I think a lot of people shy away from out of fear of not knowing exactly what to say or just feeling uncomfortable. And I'm sure she gets nervous, and I'm sure she doesn't always feel like she has the right words, but it never shows, and she never lets it stop her. And she puts herself out there, I think, because she really just genuinely cares about helping people. And I really admire that. She also most recently, or last year, moved to Denver from Breckenridge, and she sold the house that she had been in for 40 years. And bought a house down here, and it was a ton of work, and she did it all herself. I think it was also emotional, and it was really tough leaving her community that she'd been such a part of. But I was really proud of her. She was incredibly brave and strong throughout that entire process. And she's really our rock, and every day she's brave, and she supports us, and she is just always available for her family and her friends, and it's really remarkable how she puts so many people ahead of herself, and it's just, she has a really, really big heart and really cares about people. And I probably don't say it enough, and so I'm glad I have the opportunity to do that now. I love you, Mom.